system residing at the web server. Okay, and a server side environment that runs on a scripting language is a web server. Okay, these are the 3 points you have to remember. The first one is it is not a static page, it's going to create a dynamic page because whatever the information you are going to give it in the front end, that gonna react in the request will be going to the server and the server is going to give a response. Okay, so this server side environment that runs on the scripting language is a web server. Okay, and why we are going for this, or what are the main functionalities it's going to be have. So first we'll see the advantages. The main advantages of using this server side is it's processing the data takes place before a web page is sent to the browser. Okay, so first one is processing data take place before a web page is sent to the browser. Okay, and actually this server side code will be hidden. So mostly if you go to the front end, what you can see, so if you click on the right click and if you go to the inspect, you can see all the codings, right? But this server side scripts code remains hidden from the users. And the second point is, so it is a independent browser. The browser does not impact on the processing of scripting code because all the data processing takes place on the server end. Okay, so data, so these are the key points, ma'am, please make a note of it, takes place on the server end. And the third point is allows a database interactivity with the web pages. Follows a database interactivity with the web page. So if example, we'll take some example. There is a form and I'm giving some information there, like my name, my mail ID, everything. I'm a visitor. And it goes to the database and it has some details and you will get the details on the output. Okay. And and also if example, I given a template in a file, okay, that contains HTML code to which content from a text file and databases. And I will tell you the real-time example how we need to do. And it cannot be disabled at the client side. We cannot, okay, we cannot disabled at the client side. Server scripting cannot be cut this and paste it here. Okay. And the next point is server side scripting is more secure. This already we know. It will be more secure than the client scripting. For that purpose, we are going. Okay. And then can access files and the database that do not normally be available to the client or a user. Okay, so cannot we can access the files and database that do not normally available in the client or the user. Okay, and what is the disadvantages we have? So disadvantages, So what are the disadvantages we face? It is highly high configuration server to use server side scripting. Okay, and it has a lot of processing speed for running a complex task. And the third point is the server side is slower than the client side. It will take some time for processing. Okay, so this is how it will be for the request. And we just know what are the main thing why we are going for this and what are the disadvantages and that is advantages. And now we'll see how it is processing. So I'll show you in the example. We'll go with some architecture. Uh, okay, so here you can see this example. See here. So this is nothing but a web server, okay? And this is my client. That is, let's take, I'm a visitor now, okay? I'm just going to give some information. That is, I'm going to give some information to the server. So how it works. The first thing is when the client, okay, when the client or the visitor requests a page, the web server reads it first. So first it goes to the web server. First it reads the thing. And after reading, the web server locates the file on the disk. You can see the disk, right? So it will be get stored on the disk and loads into the memory and ask the script engine to process the script code. Okay, this is the process. So after this, it will go to the web server and reads it and put in the file on the disk and loads into the memory, and then it asks the the script engine to process the script code. Okay, and after processing, so what happened is after processing, the web server, so after doing this, where it is, yes, a web server as a script engine to process and then generate the HTML file. So that script code will be generated into the HTML file, and then the HTML stream passed back to the server again. Okay, and the browser process the client side scripting, and the browser process the HTML and displays the web page. So this is how it will be displaying the output. Okay, so we'll see one simple examples how we can do this. See here, whenever you're trying to create a servlet, you need to go here. Just go and click on preference. I can see server, right? Yes, server is there. Java W. So now after clicking on Java W, you can see the server here, right? So for this server, for this appearance, you need to install Tomcat server. Okay, just go here. Here you can type Apache Tomcat server. Okay, click on this. So I'll share this link in the chat box. Okay, so just click on this and click on download option. So here you have different versions. So I have already downloaded this 10. Okay, I have downloaded the 10 version. So the steps are very simple. So you have to click on next and net, and you have to set the file path. Okay, so the file path is nothing but, see here. So my file have been downloaded in this program file in Apache Software Foundation. Here you can see Tomcat, right? Tomcat 10, and this is the bin. So, so if you want to check whether the Tomcat has been installed, just click on the startup. You can see it is running. Okay. So the server startup in 800 milliseconds. So this is also instruction. Okay. So now in this, I can also run the server. And if you want to, if you are not okay, then you can go here and you can create a new server also. So to create a new server, you need to go to the Apache and what is the version you're going to choose. So example, my version is Tomcat, this one. Okay, click on next and click on finish. Okay, so see here, my new server has been created. So now if you double click on this, you can see the port name, right? This is for request, that is HTTP and Tomcat is there. So previously, the normal default thing is 8081 and here it is 8083 is there. Okay. So, but you can also change the port number as well. For that, you need to double click on this server. Okay. And after doing this, okay, after doing this, just go to the file. So now, after importing this, you can see the dynamic web project. Okay, just click on the dynamic web project and you can give a name whatever you want. Okay, just going to give a name as servlet EA is the project name. So I have created a servlet. So here you can see the difference. In normal Java class, there will be only two folders will be there, right? JRE and SRC. Okay, but here you can see a different thing has been mentioned, right? See here, what are the folders? Deployment, Nginx, Java resource, build, and SRC. Okay, so just click on this main and here in web apps. In web apps, web info. So here only what you will do, you will import the .html or .jsp file to create a front end and you will be seeing the output. So already have created one servlet. Let me check. Okay. So I've already created one, hello servlet. So in this, see here, if you go to the source, main, and web apps, so in the web info, have created a new file. So new file .html. So in this, what I've done is, see here, the normal HTML file is there. So I created a form. So how the form it will be? Okay, the form is nothing but you'll give a method, that is two attributes will be there, right? One is method, in another one is action I've given. Okay, and the pre is nothing but if you need something should be a pre lines a fixed width and height. Then you can go with the pre. So in this pre, I'm giving a text. I just want to get a text, input text for the twice the time, and I need a submit button and reset. Okay. And what is this high servlet? So here you have a Java file, right? So in this, everything in the source is only. Okay. In this Java, you have to go to the source main and Java. Here you can see high servlet.java. Okay. This is the file format you're going to do. Okay. I'll tell you how we need to do this. It's very simple. So for this, first we need to check whether Jakarta dot servlet execution has been imported or not. Okay. And if you want to connect this with an HTML file, so what you have to do, you need to mention the a name. What is a name? It is in the action file. So I'm giving it as a hi servlet. Okay. So hi servlet dot java. So you don't want to mention it as a dot java, as give as it is. Okay, these are the two things you have to do. What are the steps? First, you have to install Apache. After doing it, you need to go to the perspective. Okay, and you have to add Java EE, that is Enterprises Edition. Okay, after doing that, you can see the server, and you need to create a new server and just check the port whether it is working fine, and go to the file, and here you need to give the dynamic web project. After doing that, you'll be getting this set of files. Okay, so here in the Java src file, you need to create one .java file. So this is a, sorry, in this src file, right? So not here. I have created two things, so here and as well here. Okay, so in this only we need to create. After doing that, you have to merge it off. Okay, so now what I will do is I'm just going to double click on this. Just go here, run on server, just click on next, finish. Okay, a minute, let me process. So here you can see some two field, right? So I'm giving some information like I'm giving some name, like Komala. So like this, you can create a your own project. If I click on this, see, it is saying what? Hello, Komala. Okay, it is very very simple. So now I will explain you how the process works. Okay, so how it is working, and also for what and all we can create this applications. Okay, once we done this, I will go and explain you about JSP. What is JSP and how can we do a mapping? So JSP also similar thing, but instead of dot HTML file, you're going to use a JSP thing. So in interview point of view, yes, JSP is very very important. They will ask you what and all the things you will do in the JSP. Okay, and what is the process behind this? Servlet life cycle, and what are the packages we are going to import, and applications. First, we'll understand what are the applications we need to install. So, example, see here, application of server side scripting. So, first one is used to protect. You can also get the problem statement from this as well. Username and password, and when the user signs up and login web page first time, username and the password are saved. Okay, the username and the passwords are saved in the server. Okay, whenever the user wishes to log in, the web server verifies the credential of the user, and if they are matched, then it will show the output. Okay, so like a cookies. And one more thing, so we have three more. So whenever we submit an online application, so these are some applications you can do it using for the your problem statement also, so you can get some idea. Data or information entered in the form is stored in the database of server. So once the information is successfully submitted to the server via the online form, the information from the server can be accessed and represented in the forms or the report. That also you can do. So it will be in what? It will be in the report format, right? So 2 weeks before I've also shared some form to you, Google Forms. So you have filled some details. I got a response. I can see how many students have been given their name and details. That we can do it using this server side application. At the server side, we can dynamically see here. We can also edit, dynamically edit, add, and remove or update the content of our web pages at any moment. And the fourth one is it is used at the back end. So where the source code is not visible to the client. Okay. And creating and applying a complex business logic. Yes. Creating. So this you can try now. So see here, creating, applying a complex business logics. Guys, I'll tell you what is capstone projects. Actually, after completing 4 modules, they will be conducting, and I'll be there at your college if possible. Okay, so that experts will ask you to produce a project, and you are going to explain in front of them, and I'll be there. Okay, but you have to prepare, and if you have any doubts, also you can ask me. And customize a web page to make it more useful for the individual clients. And now uh, we know what is server side, and we know how we are working with it, right? So now we will understand So what is the difference between why we are going to learn all these things? So it is for mainly, for the better performance we are going for this. And what are the applications of servlet? So we know what is application for server side scripting. Now we are seeing application for server. So read the explicit data, okay, that is sent by the client. This includes a HTML form on the web page. So as we know, right? So if you go and check, yes, it is in the HTML form. So or it could also be from an applet or custom HTTP client program. Okay. So read that implicit HTTP request. Okay, so read that implicit HTTP request data sent by the client. This includes cookies, media type, and compression schemes. Everything will be there, and send the explicit data. Okay, like a binary GIF images, or it may be the HTML page. Okay, so how the website will be there? It will be in a images or a text or something like that, right? So it will be returning that kind of information. So we know what is the process behind this. I will show you the servlet architecture. See here. In this, you can see there is a web browser, okay, and HTTP. And here comes your servlet program. And here, that is your data. So how it is processing? So first of all, it will read the data sent by the client browser. So client browser, what it has been sent. And then this protocols, it works like this is a third party. Okay, sorry, this is like a middleware. Okay, it acts like a middleware. It will not be directly communicate with this. Okay, so protocol will be there and HTTP server is there, and this going to be a middleware between the database and HTTP server. Okay, so what are the packages we need? So if you go and check in the coding, so this, Jakarta servlet, okay, this exceptions we need. So example, see here, the servlet packages. So servlets or Java classes that run by the web server. Okay, that has an interpreter that supports a Java servlet specifications. So actually this is created. So how it is created? The servlet is created using Java X dot servlet and Java X dot servlet dot HTTP. Using this, they have created. Okay, this is the enterprises edition. So before we have learned about standard editions, right? So now we are going to learn about Java, that is enterprises edition. So next, what are the life cycle we are going to follow? Okay, so first thing is init method. This is a life cycle. So in this init method is called only once. Okay, it will be called only once, and it will be like this. See here, a public void init of, and throws the exception. So we know what is the usage of throws keyword. It will be used in the method, right? And here you will be having a exception, that is servlet exception. Here will be having a initialization. Okay, and the next life cycle is service of method. You need to use the service of method. So in this main method, to perform the actual task. So actual task is nothing but That container, that is web server, calls us web service method to handle the request. So it's called the servlet container. This is a service method to handle request coming from the client. Okay. So servlet container service to handle the request coming from the client. So for that purpose, we are using this and write the formatted response back, and also write the formatted response back to the client. Okay. So each time the server receives a request for a servlet, okay, the server a new thread and calls the services. So example, the service method checks HTTP request type. So what are the types it will check for us? So HTTP request types are get, post, put, delete, and etc. Yeah, something etc. Okay, the methods will be like do get off and do post off and do put and do delete. Okay, so the signature of for this method is, see here, like this. So public void and the service method. So in this, I'll be having some parameters. Why? Because I'm going to get the request and response, right? So it will be like servlet request, giving it as a request, and servlet response. So it gonna throws the exceptions. It may be what is the it throws it maybe throws the exceptions, like maybe a servlet exception, or it gonna throw the IO exception. Like this it will be. And but most frequently used is do, get, and post. Okay, and what is do get method, how we can use it? So this get request from the normal result for a URL or from the HTML form. So that has no method specified. It should be handled by the do get method. Okay, just copy this. After this, you will be having a, so in this, having a servlet code, and after this, you will be having the method. That is the do post of method. Okay. You can also use a do get. So do get will be here. So this is a do get method that will be having some two things. That is nothing but HTTP servlet, and here also HTTP response. Okay. And for post also the same thing. You have to change this to here to post. And the last thing is, after init and giving a service, you need something called as a destroy method. So destroy method is, okay, so what is destroy method? Why we are going for? So actually, it is also called only once. So in like init, it is also called only once at the end of the life cycle of servlet. Okay, but this is the beginning of the life cycle. Okay, so what happened? So your servlet, you know, chances to close a database connection and halt the background threads. If something is happening at the background, that also be halted. Okay, so write the cookies list or hit the counts to disk and perform other such a cleanup activity. So how we can do this? So same thing, just go here. So here you are using init, right? So here also you need to mention public void display. So within this finalization rule. Okay, and we'll see the architecture how it performs. So architecture diagram. Uh, mm, okay. Okay, I'll explain you. I can't see the exact thing. Okay, I'll tell you. So how it will be. So actually, so the architecture work for this will be, you know, the servlet container. You see here, the servlet container will be there, and we have three methods, right? That is init and service and destroy. So these are the three methods we have. Okay, so first one is it will move on to the init method. Okay, and in the service, okay, in the service, we'll example we can take some three threads is running. Thread A, B, and C is running. And if it once it goes on to the destroy, so what happens is if the thread A is completed and B and C is waiting, so it will stop that task and it will get destroyed. Okay, so so in Java, no, servlet classes, we need to implement, you know, Java X servlet, servlet dot interfaces. So just we'll see simple example how we can run this and compile this coding. Okay, guys, we'll see one more simple example for this. Okay, so go to that Eclipse. Okay, I'm going to use all these method in the program. Okay, just go here and I'm going to create one more project. So go to new dynamic web. So I already created one. I have not yet used. Just go here. I think check where oh yes, this one, right? So now here I'm just going to code a something like a sample code. Let's get into Java. So here, let me check once again. Okay. So here I will go and I will create one. So the screen is visible for you guys. Okay, here you just go here and create. I'm going to create some Java file that is let's take class and I'm giving a name as so instead of that I will be giving AB. Okay, now I have created a .java file. So now in this place, before doing this, I need to import something. So what are the? So I told you right. So import Java. So this is a normal file. Then you need to install all these. Okay, you need to import all these. Okay, so import Java x dot servlet star. If you are going to do it in the notepad, okay, and then import Java x dot servlet dot http dot star disaster. So you can give this or just go to this file. Okay, and I have something like this, right? Just copy this and put it. Okay, so this is a thing you have to use Jakarta. Okay. So in this you will be having about the things exception will be handled, and here what you have to do in the class you need to extend http servlet. Okay. So within this, I'm giving a that is a data type for access specifier and the string and message. So just throwing an error. Okay. Next thing is I'm going to create a method. What is the first method? So public void init. I'm going to initiate it, right? So initiate off, and it's gonna throws servlet exception. Okay, so inside it, I do require initialization. So for this message, I'm giving some value. So messages servlet program just closes off. And after this, I'm going to create one more method. That is, I'm going to get the values. Okay. So public void to get of HTTP servlet request, giving this to be a request, comma, just copy this. Okay. Uh, so now here what I will do is, so this is my do get, right? So I need to throw. Okay, we know what is the use of throws keyword. So throws servlet exception, comma IO exception. Okay, what is error? We better try to delete this. And now I'm going to set the response. Okay, response is content type. Okay, so here I'm giving a response keyword, that is our variable name, so which I've given here, right? So response dot, I'm going to set the content type. So content type can be a normal text file or it can be in a HTML. Okay, so that's what I'm giving as a content response. Okay, and next one is the actual logic. So what we are going to do? So print writer, and I'm giving some object name. And what is the response here? I'm just copying that response. Going to get a writer of method. It's going to write the output. So what is the error? I So what happened is sometimes you need to import something. So that is the reason you are getting an error. Okay. So here I think it has been resolved. Okay, we'll see later. Okay, after giving this, I'm just going to get the output. Okay. So out dot println, and I'm giving h1. Okay, and the message is going to be displayed here. So what is the message I've given? That's going to be displayed here. Okay, so plus. So I already told the thing should be a text or the HTML file. So I think it is correct. That's all right. Okay. Next, I'll after closing this, and then I'm trying to create a destroy method. So public void destroy of. Okay, so inside this, I'm not going to do anything. Just close this off. What is it? So this is all about a servlet. So now what I have to do is just go here in the web apps. Okay, in the web apps you need to create one .xml file. Okay, or you can also create. Okay, so in this you want to create a XML file, or you can go with the .html file also. You can do this, but you need to do the servlet mapping. Okay, so I'll tell you what how will be the code, and what is that servlet name you need to mention. So after doing this, you'll be getting the output. Okay, this alone I'll tell you. Okay, on the next class, and I'll tell you the process for everything. Then we can do with the final project. Okay, so now we understand what is servlet and what is a farm life cycle. So now we learn what is Java server pages. That is JSP. What is JSP? It's a Java server pages. So this is a technology. This is a server side programming technology that we are going to use. So this is used to enables the creation of dynamic and platform independent method for building web-based applications. Okay, if time permits, and also I'll send you the videos, the live videos for the real-time applications, how the front end, the back end works. Okay, I will also send you by next week probably. So then, this enables the creation of dynamic and platform independent method for building the web-based applications. And JSP can also have a access to the entire family of Java APIs, including the JDBC API to access the enterprises application, that is database. Okay. So JSP have an access to entire family of Java APIs, okay, including the JDBC API to access the entire database. For that purpose, we are going for this JSP, and we'll see how the performance is. It's significantly better because JSP allow embedding the dynamic elements in HTML page instead of having a separate CGI file. Okay, and we'll be having a, so what, here you can see, here you can save, just go and create a new file, .jsp file itself. You can save it like this. So if you click on next, finish, you can see the format. So it is something similar to an HTML. Okay, but we'll be importing HTML in between. Okay, and so JSP also access to all the powerful enterprises. Already we know Java APIs, including JDBC, EJB, and JAXP. Okay, and the combination with the server that handles the business logic. So it also handles the business logic, the model supported by the Java servlet, the template engines. Okay, what are the applications we can do? So JSP is one of the most widely used language over the web. Um, the first one is JSP versus active server page. Okay, so we have something called ASP, right? Active service page. So this is called Java server page. Okay, this is written in Java, not any Visual Basic or other MS specific languages. It's only of Java one. Okay, and what is Java server package and what it does? So first we should understand so that you know supports dynamic content. Okay, it supports a dynamic content, and also this helps a developer insert the Java code. Developer inserts a Java code in a HTML page by making a using special JSP tags. There are some JSP tags. You can see it here, right? You see here. This is the tags. So using the angle bracket, we are using percentage at right. So this is how it will be. Like this, we'll be inserting the val. That is, these are called the JSP tags. Okay. So how it starts? So usually start with the angle bracket modulo and end with modulo and closing tags. Okay, so this JSP component is a type of Java servlet that is a fully fulfill the role of user interfaces for the web Java web application. For that purpose, we are going this. So, what is the architecture for Java? Sorry, that is JSP. Let's see JSP archi. Okay, let's take this example, or we go with this. See here. So there are something called client, MSOS, and Linux. Everything is it. Okay. It is approaching the internet. Typically, a web server supporting JSP. Okay. What happened? It goes to the web server. Okay, and this JSP file stored here. In this place only, it will get stored. Okay, and how the JSP is processing. So first, see here, a normal page, that is your browser sends. This is a browser sends an HTTP request to the web server. It is sending to the web server. This is a web server, right? And the web server recognize the HTTP request is for the JSP page and forward it to the JSP engine. It will forward it to the JSP engine, and this is done by using the URL or JSP page, which ends with the .jsp instead of .html. Okay, and that engine loads the JSP page from the disk and converts it to the servlet content. This connection is very simple. Okay, and also compiles a servlet into the executable class. And so mainly what happens is once it requests, it goes to the servers with a JSP container, and that .jsp file read, and it generate the .java file. Once it is done, it will compile to the .class file. See here, the process is very simple. So first the clients, okay, it will request. Okay, once the request is done, it moves on to the server with JSP container. Okay. And the hello example will take hello.jsp. So that files move on to the JSP container, and then it generates what it will generate. It will generate into hello.servlets.java file. Okay, once it is done, it will compile. So after compiling, what it will be changed? It will obviously it will change to a dot class file, right? And then it get executes. So after executing, it will move on to the client as a HTML file. So this is how it will be. And what is a life cycle? So this is a process. Now we'll see the life cycle. So in this life cycle, so it is a process. So this creation till the destructions. Okay. Similar to in a servlet life cycle with but additional steps which is required to compile the JSP into a servlet. So you need to compile the JSP into servlet, right? So for that, we need some more steps. The first thing is compilation. Second one is initialization. Third one is execution. The fourth one is cleanup. Okay, so this JSP processing source. So first one is initialization. What it will do? It will have a JSP init method, and then in the execution, that is for requesting and request and response, you'll be having something called JSP servers off. So here only what happens? The same thing, a request and response will be done. And finally, it will get shut down by JSP destroy. So the one extra thing is we have is compilation. Okay, that will compile JSP into that is servlet. So we'll see what is JSP compilation. So in this JSP compilation, first browser ask for a JSP file, so that JSP engine first checks to see whether it needs to compile the page. So browser asks for the JSP. So first it asks for the JSP. The JSP engine first check whether I need to compile this page. Okay. And then what happens is, if the page has never been compiled, or if the JSP has been modified since it was last compiled, the engine compiles a page. Okay. And three steps is involved. One is parsing the JSP and turning the JSP into a servlet and compiling this. Okay. So first it will be in JSP, right? So will be turning into a servlet, and then the servlet will be compiled. Okay. And what is initialization? So this is the same thing which we mentioned in the servlet. Same process will be appearing here also. Okay. And so what is the scriptlet we need to follow? So that we should learn. The scriptlet is nothing but it contains any number of Java language statement, variable and method declarations, and expression will be there. The syntax is, so what is the basic syntax? So like this, modulo, and then code fragments like this it will be. Okay. So you can write XML equivalent of Java syntax also. You can also create that. Okay, you need to mention something different. Okay, so this is a basic syntax. We have to give the code fragment. Okay, and so the basic first example. Uh, so before going for that, we'll see the declarations first. So how to have a JSP declarations. So in this JSP declarations, you have to use an angle bracket and modulo declaration. What is a declaration? And if you're going to use anything, then you have to mention it like this. You have to close it with the modulo and close it off. Okay. And example, I can say something like this. So declaration, you have to use exclamatory. Okay. And in E, I is equals to some value I'm giving. Okay, I'm just closing this off. And I'm giving like this int a comma b comma c equal modulo of. And also I can assign some variables also. Circle a, that is using some class names also we can do it. Circle and 0. And what is JSP expression? In this JSP expression, element contains a scripting languages. Okay. Uh, so we'll see the basic thing how we need to do modulo the same thing, and you need to give equals to expression. So what is the expression? So the example we give like this. So modulo. So let's better we go here and create some. So here I have this, right. So just go here and type the expressions. Example, I'm giving some paragraph. So inside this, I'll give some JSP code. Okay. So modulo equals to new java.util dot date of. So what is the error? Okay, we can try some other example. Okay, ma. So next, just I'll go here. So now I try to give out dot println or IP. Okay, it is showing some error. Okay, so this is a basic way you will include, but don't worry, I'll give some other example for this. So and also you can give some comment lines so which will not be throwing any error. Mm, so here the comment line would be like this. You need to mention. So for example, I'm giving some name. Bird evening. Better I'll do one thing. So I just remove this. I'm giving some text here. Okay. Um, this also okay. Good. So next thing is I'm just giving some command using this. This command will not be visible in the page source. Okay, I need to run this file. Just go here and run this. Just throw it in. Okay, don't worry. So first, I'll tell you the command lines and how we can use it. So this is the actual thing. Okay, how you will execute the dodge. Ah, yes. I'm sorry. We need to import some two jar files here. Okay, so I'll show you what are the jar files. Most probably I'll be save it here. Let me check whether I have downloaded it or not. Okay, I'll tell you. So what are the jar files you need to include? So actually, you need to include some two jar files in the folder. Okay, so then only the JSP file will be working fine. The servlet and this one. Okay, and for actions, action purpose. So as of now, we know how to give the declarations and expression and JS command, right? So these are the JS comments. So like nothing but need to mention this way comments. Just close this off. And then what is JSP actions? In JSP actions, have to give the things like $6 is nothing but JSP colon action underscore name, and then you need to give the attribute and the value. Like this it will be. And the following things we can do it using, see here, this will be like JSP include, and include, and JSP use beam, and JSP set property, and we have something called JSP get property, JSP colon forward, JSP colon plugin, JSP colon element. So these are the actions now. Okay, JSP attribute, JSP colon body, JSP colon text. Okay. So our next one is what is JSP implicit objects. Okay, so there are 9 automatically predefined variables. Okay, so what are the variables is have some predefined variables we already discussed, right? So in the coding itself there is something called as request, response, okay, and then out, and we have something called session, application. So these are all what predefined variables. Okay, and config. So I'll, for example, I'll show you in the servlet dot what we have created, this one, right? Not this one, new dot server. There is the file ab.java. So here you can see the request, right? The request and response. So these are the what just called as a predefined variable. So here, and also we have something called a page context and page exception. Okay. So these are the different types. I'll tell you, I'll execute some real-time example on the next session. Okay, so now we'll come to know how to handle the client data. Some client side data is there, so how we are going to handle with that. Okay, and also for the capstone project you can get some idea from the real time, so real time IT sectors how they are doing, so you can take that, so that will be definitely work out, we'll get a benefits from that. Okay, so JSP form processing, how we can process a form, so using get and post, and reading form data using, so if you want to read a form data using JSP, then what you need to do is you need to give some method. So get parameter of and get values and get parameter names of get input stream of. So these are the some, read a form data. So if you want to read the form data, and you have to use this method. And get method examples using some URL. So we can also do some basic example, but we'll do it later. Okay, I'll tell you. So first thing is you need to create a form in this JSP file. Okay, and after doing that, you need to fetch the details. We'll see the real-time examples, okay, on the next class, obviously. So now, as of now, we'll complete these things. Okay, so and then finally we have something called managing sessions at server and cookies at client. The client, how will be doing that? Okay, so maintaining a session between the web client and the servers. So how it is handled? So what are the hidden form fields will be there? See here, hidden form fields are something like this. No form field along with a unique section ID will be created. Okay. So here I have an input element, and the type is going to be a hidden. The name attribute is session ID, and the value I'm giving as some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the type will be the hidden. Okay, and the you'll be having a name, that is as a session ID. So this entry is means nothing but, so when the form is submitted and the specified name and the value are automatically included in the get or post data. Okay, so each time the web browser sends a request back, so you can also do a project. This is also this a basic thing, but you can do it. You can do something different from this idea. Okay, and so what happens is sends a request back. The session ID value can be used to keep the track of different web browser. Okay, um, this can effectively keeping a track of session, but clicking on a regular link, that is hypertext link, does not result in the form submission. It cannot support the general session tracking, and there will be something called as a URL rewriting. So this data identify the session. So service cannot associate the session identifier. Okay. And we have something called a session object. So like this it will be. So HTTP, like this in an interface. Okay. So uses a servlet that provides a HTTP session interface. Okay. This interface provides a way to identify the user across. It is a one page request or visit to a website or store the information about the user. So everything. Okay. That is enabled using the HTTP session objects initiated. So for this, you need to use a page character. So don't worry, guys. We'll be having a coding session. So as of now, just know this. What are the things we have? Okay. So modulo that page session equals to false. So this JSP engine exposes the HTTP session object. Okay. And the session tracking thing. So how it works. So we'll see the live coding by the next class, and how to delete it, and how it works, the anatomy of the cooking, the cookies, we can see that, and how we can delete the cookies, the step-by-step process. And the last topic, you know about this JSP expression language. that is EL. As of now, we understood what is, handling the client side data, how we can handle, and what is cookies, so how it performs. So each and everything will be having a session ID. uh, so it will check which website it is from and which data it is. So everything will be checked. And this session object, this interfaces we need, and this is a page directive, so it will work like this. Okay. And what is JSP, and how we can declare it. So we know the life cycle for servlet and JSP also. So as of now, we need to code it. Okay, practical session will be having on the next class. Okay, so now, okay, guys. So next is, we know what is the term of expression language. So expression language, makes easily access a application, stored in the components. Okay. So in this JSP EL is allows used to create an expression both arithmetic and logical. So we can create both things. So arithmetic also possible, and we can also use as some logical functions also we can do it. Okay. So within a JSP EL expression, you can use integer, floating point numbers, stringers, built-in constants, true or false. Okay. Uh, how we can set this? What is the simple thing we can do it? So see here, it is JSP colon set property. Okay. So the variable name is equals to, I'm giving the value as box, and the another thing is a property. So here I'm giving some value. Example, a perimeter. I'm going to find the value for this perimeter, and I'm going to give a value as 100. That's gonna I print here. So this is how it will be, the expression language. And it allows you to specify the expression for any these attribute values. So first example is dollar $EXPR. So this EXPR specifies the expression itself. Okay. The most common operator in JSPELR is dot and this one. Okay. So this two operators allows you to access a various attributes of a Java Beans and built-in JSP object. Okay. So these two things will be accessible. So you can either use Dart or you can go with the this one. So I think we have discussed these two things in an object in JavaScript, right? The same thing we are applying here. Okay. And how we can set the things to be done. For example, so the expressions can be like this. So JSP, just copying this. See the expression how I can do. So here I'm giving it as a value, right? So but I don't want it to be a value. I'm going to mention this to be an expression. So how I can do this? Okay. So dollar, I'm going to give the expression that is 2 into box dot width plus 2 into box dot height. So like this you need to specify. Okay. So this is the expression. So expression is mentioned in between here. EXPR. Okay. And when the JSP compiler sees the dollar and the curly brace form in the attribute, it generates a code, evaluate the expression and the substitutes value of the expression. Okay. So how we can give the text? So text can be mentioned like this: JSP colon text. JSP colon text. So inside this, I need some heading like hello JSP slash HTML. So how like this you can mention. So so now include a JSP EL expression in the body. So previously we have given like this expression has been done. So now how we can add it as a text. So I want to print it. Okay, if I want this is like a initialization. So now I'm going to print this. So how can I print this? Example, see here. I'm printing the JSP colon text, just closes off slash JSP colon text. Okay. So in between this, a box perimeter colon dollar. To copy this value. So I'm going to print this value. Just copy like this. It will. Okay. So this is a EL expressions. So how we are expressing it. So parenthesis to group the sub expression. For example, we can also do it like this, like dollar. Within this, I'm giving like see here, 1 plus 2 of into 3 curly brace and equals 9. But just copy this and make it to be like this. So if you are going to use some two expressions, so if it is this, and it will get an output for this value. Otherwise, I'm changing this to be this format. Okay, and we specify. See here, this EL ignored. So this is an attribute for the page directory. So if you are going to mention this to be whether it is true or false, then you can go with this is ignored attribute. How we can use this? See here, same thing. So have to use it, JSP format. So at page, you have to mention this attribute here equals to true/false. Okay. And how we can create a functions in the JSP. So next class we'll see the live practical example. Okay. So here in this expression, see here I'm going to use dollar curly brace ns function param1 param2. Okay. So what is ns? Ns is a namespace of a function, and the function is the name of the function. Okay, I'm giving a name of the function, and then param is nothing but is a parameter values what I'm going to give. For example, I can give it like this. See here, example, I can take this ns to be a fn. Okay, namespace, and then I'm giving a function name to be length. Okay, this is how it will be. Okay, which is a part of JSTL library. You can give the value as get my length. Close this function, curly brace, and give a dollar sign. Okay, guys, please stay connected for some time. So I'll be completing this. Okay. Yes, okay. And next one is a page context object. So what is page context object? So here, okay, so you can access a request object, for example, to access the incoming query string from for a request. Okay, so for that, it's dot request dot query string request. So in this, no, this is how it will be the page content and what is a request and the query string. And we have something called scope object and how to set a parameter values. So parameter values is very easy. Again, you need to give the username. So what is the username and the details in the para and header value. So okay, better we'll continue from the next class because I hope you guys have to go. Okay. So we'll complete in the next class. As of now, we discussed all this thing. So I'll summarize the thing. So today we have learned about servlet, JSP, and JSP okay, expression language, and also how to handle the data. Okay. So we have see the practical example for servlet, but yet to complete with the JSP practical and so cookies, and also for this one, the last one, EL and JSTL tag libraries.